Zero news on the rise, bringing wrestling to our eyes. WWE, AW in the spotlight, never telling us a lie. Accurate in every report, fans cheering in delight. Zero news, our guiding light in the wrestling fight. Covering the ring with precision, no indecision. Zero news, our source of truth, bringing wrestling updates, never uncouth. In the world of WWE and AEW, Zero news shines through.
Yes, hello, this is Zero. Welcome to the EVP Xero Show. I'm Zero as normal, and I'll pass you over to my co-host for this evening.
What's going on, everybody? I am the EVP CJP, and we are back for episode 6 of the EVP Xero Show, and we are glad to have everybody and ready to get started tonight.
Yes, so obviously we've had a busy week with the weekend and everything, so we might as well sort of get into it. So let's talk about some of the stuff. First of all, some of the bits and pieces of news. Again, actually, before we get into this, I will say if anyone does actually have any comments or anything or any questions, please drop them into the comment section on here, and I will try to get through as many as what I can do. If your comments good enough to be displayed, I'll put it up on the screen. I say good enough. It's obviously if you're swearing or anything like that, it obviously won't be going on up. But yeah, so please try and keep it PG in here because I don't really want fancy getting banned off YouTube because of some idiots or whatever. So yeah, carry on. Yeah, so one of the first bits and pieces of news that we've got here then is Apollo Crews has announced this week that he's undergone surgery for a torn pec after he tore it a couple of months back. So obviously, yeah, get well soon and stuff like that. Really, to Apollo, I would say. Not really much more we can really say on that one, is there? Really, that's just a little bit there.
Yeah, I mean, just one of those freak injuries, but yeah, we all wish Apollo well and hope he gets back soon.
Yeah. There's also another thing as well that's come down now. This is quite interesting. Is Roman Reigns has done an interview. I can't remember who it was with now. Sorry, this is my second show today doing stuff like this. So Roman Reigns has actually done an interview, and he talked about championships, and he mentioned about the World Heavyweight Championship. In that one, he basically turned around and said that he would like to win that belt. He reckons that if it's put on him, he can elevate it up. Now, this was actually something that we reported back in July on this one, and I know the plans are still going ahead basically with it. Whereas he will win that title now. That's meant to be at SummerSlam, I think. So yeah, I don't know. What do you think about that one? Obviously, Roman and stuff like that, basically. No.
Well, I did watch the interview. The guy pretty much asked him what he thought about that title. And he basically said, well, it's not going to be elevated until I hold the title. I mean, Roman pretty much went goat mode on all his interviews, Rumble, pre-Rumble, post-Rumble. I mean, it's really difficult to say. Obviously, I'll let you get into it with the Triple H booking and all that, but I can't possibly see Roman not winning the World Heavyweight Championship in 2025, but with the way what's up, World Elite, and Monty, with the way Triple H is booking right now, it's just it's really difficult to say. Like we're having a hard time getting any information at all.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, so I mean, from my understanding, the plans are still that he's going to be winning that championship at or around SummerSlam this year. That's from my understanding, for that one there. So that could be, as I was actually saying this one earlier on to somebody, is that could actually really elevate it up. Winning it on the very first two-night SummerSlam, Roman winning it then, that would be a big moment because, again, it's the first two nights SummerSlam, and also as well, it'd be Roman again winning that title and doing it that way now. I know a lot of people might turn around and say, oh, but, Roman's got to win the Undisputed Championship because that's his one. He doesn't have a certain belt. Any championship that he holds will instantly get elevated up. Now, he's done all he can for the Undisputed. That's the thing. He can't physically do any more because if he holds it, he's just holding it just to hold the title. Whereas, if he wins that World Heavyweight Championship, it's something for him to do. So he can actually, elevate up that championship and do it that way. So it's to me, it's a good idea putting that one on him. I know people come and say, oh, but it's a secondary belt. Roman talked shit about it in the past and that, but that doesn't matter. He can talk as much rubbish as what he likes about it, or as much shit about it, and that as what he likes about that belt. But as soon as they put that belt on him, that belt instantly becomes the number one title in the company, no matter who's holding the other one. And that's the thing, see for it. So that's
well, I mean, you also got to think like, when's the last time that title's really been elevated? I mean, Gunther's held that title pretty much a hostage. His title reign has been absolutely atrocious. They need someone Roman Reigns' stature to come in and win that belt, and elevate it, because right now, Gunther didn't defend the Royal Rumble. He's more than likely not defending at Chamber. So like we need an elevation of that title, not just the Cody's title at the time.
Yeah. I will just say before we move on, a couple of hellos. So hello to Elliot, also hello to the author Lena Dow, and hello to Moni and World Elite Podcast. Also Ronald, is that? Yeah, Ronald as well in there, and DBA Dorian. So hello, yeah. I also see Moni's left a little comment, so let's just put this one up. So, and I do actually agree, they could put the US title on him, and it's the belt of the company. That's the thing. No matter what title Roman's holding, they, that one got there. And hey, Dimitri as well. I can see you're in the comments as well there. Like I said, if you've got any questions, ask them, and I will try and answer them at the end of the show, unless we've obviously answered them during the show. Now, this next bit of news I find quite weird because it's come down from, well, I'll say you'll instantly know how bad it is when I say who it is. So it's from Dave Meltzer, apparently. Now, this is probably going to be wrong, and I do believe it is wrong looking at it. He's put down that on the day of WrestleMania 41, Night 1, Dave has stated that NXT Stand and Deliver is set to begin at 12 p.m. PT time, which is 8 p.m. GMT. Now, that is, I think we worked this one out earlier, that's about 6 o'clock or something. No, that's like, what's that? Is that EST time?
What time?
3 o'clock or something?
What? Yeah, it should be like 3. I was 3 p.m.
Yeah. So that'd be 3 p.m. EST time. And then apparently WrestleMania Night 1, the actual Night 1 main event, the actual Night 1 main card, is meant to start at 3 p.m. PT, meaning there's 3 hours in between those shows. Now, if NXT Stand and Deliver is, say, 2.5 hours, you've literally got a half an hour break between the two shows.
Yeah, that's all.
And then, of course, and then they'll probably go straight into like don't forget then as well, you'll also have a 2-hour bloody Mania pre-show or something I expect on beforehand. Now, the weird thing is that's been reported down, and Dave's saying it's 3 p.m. PT, but people who have got tickets are reporting that on the tickets it says 4, like doors open at 4. So I don't know whether Dave's just got massively confused or whether they have changed the times and they just haven't told anyone yet or anything like that, because it also does say on the tickets time subject to change. So it's a thing there. I have no clue what they're doing timings wise, but if those times are correct and they're doing it 12 and 3, then they've literally got half hour between the two events, maybe even less. And obviously that'll be people who are planning on going to NXT and then shooting across the WrestleMania night one. They ain't gonna get it. They ain't gonna make it in time. Not in half hour.
No,
I would say. So I think those timings there are wrong. But obviously this is Dave.
Yeah.
You have a bit of news, you two, and I said that you wanted to speak about anyway because it's that interview, so we'll get into that later on in a short little while. So yes, that's that. So so this weekend we had the Royal Rumble event for it. Which quite eventful. What did you make about the whole pay-per-view overall? Obviously, we won't go into the winners or anything like that. We'll talk about them as we go along. But what did you think about it? Obviously, disregarding sort of any spoilers or anything like that at the moment until we get into this.
I mean, it wasn't terrible. It didn't overstay as welcome. It without me going into stuff that we're going to touch on later with the interview with Jay. It obviously we had a swerve. Triple H is, you'll get into that, but he did what he wanted to do. He kept us. He made us look bad. And that's just the facts. But I mean, I think they made the right decision in the women's, regardless of the hate Charlotte Flair gets. She's the GOAT of women's wrestling, like her or not. And the people I really felt bad for was like DIY and Motor City Machine Guns, because they just sat through an hour women's rumble and then turned around and it was crickets. The Cody KO match, it had good parts. Wasn't really crazy with the ending, having Sammy come out there like he didn't even do anything. And then the men's rumble, like I spoke on it Monday. I probably spoke on it until I'm blue in the face. I don't think it's the right move. Nothing against Jay, but I love Jay, but it was definitely not the right move.
No, but we'll get into that one in a minute on the Jay thing. So first of all, then, so what I wanted to do was, obviously, because this is mainly going to be focusing on the Royal Rumble, is go through obviously the list of entrants. I'll quickly shoot through them because it could get a little bit boring. Obviously, talk about each one. Some of the interesting names, obviously, we could talk about and their positions and stuff like that. So the Women's Royal Rumble opened up with Io Sky and Liv Morgan as 1 and 2. I thought that was a pretty good call, actually. They both had a really good showing and stuff. With Roxanne Perez at number 3. Now, obviously, Roxanne Perez being runner-up in the Rumble, that's a big move for her. That's a big moment. And I've been saying this for quite a while now, is Triple H is going to start elevating all the NXT stars. And that, like, the stars of today are going to mainly be used to elevate and put over the NXT stars, because the company as well, they see NXT now as the future, so your likes of, I'll even say the likes of some of the Bloodline people, in time, I don't know when this is going to be, but probably I would say near the end of this year, start of next year, you're going to see the Bloodline stars basically putting over NXT stars. Possibly you could have, I don't know, Roman putting over Femi or something like that, just to elevate him up. And that's because that's the way the company wants to go. And I've said this for quite a while, is do not be surprised if very soon we have I'll start again, sorry. Very soon at a WrestleMania main event, we have Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa main event in a WrestleMania. I can see that happening at some point within the next couple of years. That's the thing. It's coming. I can tell you now, it's coming. That match is, and that will main event a WrestleMania one year.
Oh, yeah.
I know a lot of people aren't looking forward to that, but again, at the end of the day, it's Triple H's boys and everything like that, and Triple H loves NXT.
There is one thing I want to say about Liv. She isn't my personal favorite, but hats off to Liv Morgan, man. Like everybody needs to give her flowers. She finished runner up back to back. She shattered records this year with as long as she was in the Rumble, making it down to the final 6, 7, 8, something like that. So Liv Morgan has really come a long way. I thought she had a possible chance to win it before the show because I know you reported that it could be Liv or Charlotte. So yeah, I mean, hats off to Liv Morgan. She absolutely deserves to be in the chamber for sure.
Yeah, I will too when I say that. Yeah, what CJ was talking about, because some of you aren't obviously in the Discord, is a couple of hours before the show, there was some information that came out to say that the two names being considered for the Women's Royal Rumble to win it was Charlotte and Liv Morgan. So obviously set up the Mania main events. So that was those ones there. So anyway, moving on. So yeah, so we then had Lyra Valkyria and then Chelsea Green, followed by B-Fab, Ivy Nile, and then Zoe Stark. It was those sort of first ones were kind of a little bit sort of disappointing, really. Kind of a little bit like it's those ones in the middle there. I wasn't expecting like Zoe Stark and Ivy Nile and stuff like that. Number 9 was pretty cool. Lash Legend, coming up from NXT. That's a big moment for her. We then obviously had Bianca, then Shayna, Bailey, Sonya Deville, Maxine Dupree, and Naomi. They were all right ones. Another pretty big moment was Jada Parker, obviously coming in. Now nobody expected Jada Parker there. Mm-hmm. She wasn't on. Well, she was on the original leaked list and stuff, and there was a couple of names in there that were reported early, but nobody had Jada Parker and stuff like that beforehand. So that was a pretty nice surprise. We then had Piper Nivens, Natalia, obviously her classic Rumble spot that she always does every year. And then I say a debut team, but obviously she's already been on TV, but now an official debut for Jordynne Grace, as a WWE superstar rather than a TNA superstar. So we had that one. Then we had Michin, and then a returning Alexa Bliss at number 21, which was quite a nice surprise because apparently that deal came together at 5 a.m. on the Friday morning or something, and she got offered like quite a big deal, and she basically turned around and said, "Fine, I'll see you in Indy tomorrow." And that's it, basically, like
5 years.
Yeah, 5-year deal basically for it. So yeah, that's what it was there. But yeah, so that's that one there. Anyway, yeah, welcome back, Alexa Bliss. Her booking and stuff at the moment is a little bit mucked up because she was originally meant to be on Raw. Now apparently she's going to SmackDown. Now they don't know again now where she's going. She could end up with Wyatt. She could end up being a solo star. She could end up going back to Raw again. It's literally a mess at the moment for that one. Zelina Vega, Candice LeRae, and then of course we had Stephanie Vaqueria as well. She was another obviously nice surprise for that one.
Mm-hmm.
Trish Stratus Hall of Famer straight afterwards. That was another surprise one. Well, a few people mentioned Trish beforehand, so that one too bad. Raquel Rodriguez. Then we had our Royal Rumble winner Charlotte Flair come out, shortly followed by Julia. Then Nia Jax, and number 30. You called this on the other stream that we done was Nikki Bella at number 30. For that one there. So, but we were saying this was like they trolled everyone big time because they panned the cameras in to make it look like that it was someone like AJ Lee and everything like that. If you notice, that camera pan made it pan in like it was someone like Becky or AJ Lee or something like that, and then Nikki Bella's music hit, and it was like, oh, okay then, yeah. So that was so that was that one. But you called that one. You did call that one. It was there.
I did.
I will just say, whilst we're carrying on with this, if anyone's got any comments on any of the any of the Royal Rumble matches, leave them in, and I will put them in the comments, and I will try and get to them as we go along. So, next match then of the night then was the 2 out of 3 Falls match between DIY and Motor City Machine Guns. Or if you're R-Truth, it's DX versus Motor City Machine Guns. Obviously, if you're R-Truth, but we won't get into that one. Obviously DIY successfully retaining. What do you think about? Well, what did you think about that match? Obviously, I know we've already sort of covered it a little bit.
Really. I mean, I kind of felt bad for them. Like I said, they just had to the Women's Rumble for an hour. The crowd was kind of flat. But they're all 4 good. Really good. I think they put on a really good match. I was a little shocked at what the Street Profits did. As far as attacking both teams instead of just DIY, especially because I think they're the ones that attacked them. But yeah, it was well overdue for Triple H to put a tag title match on a PLE. But I thought it was fine. The crowd was just not into it though.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Then we're gonna move on then to the ladder match for the undisputed WWE Championship, along with the Wind Eagle hanging above the ring as well, in which Cody Rhodes successfully retained. For a Cody Rhodes match, it was good. I do have to say that, and I know there might be a few Cody Rhodes haters in this, listening to this, but for a Cody Rhodes match, it was a good match. You've got to give it to the guy. They both got hurt pretty bad. I'll tell you that now. Even though it's obviously going to be storyline injury, they did both get some injuries in that one. It's both of them deserve their flowers for that match, because some of those spots that they done was just. I was even sat there like, oh shit, when I seen some of that, But no, like, what do you think on it? I know obviously like the whole Cody thing and stuff like that, but what do you really think about really the match? Really, overlooking like anything like that, really.
I mean, it's not a secret I'm not a Cody fan, but one thing to point out to you guys in the comments and the people watching on the stream, pay attention to everything. Cody Rhodes come out and he came out in a heelish type outfit. And regardless if you like him or not, he put his body on the line. Like, I don't really care for the part where Sami Zayn come out. I thought that was a little weird put together right there, booking wise. But I mean, the match was good for me. That was Cody's best title reign so far.
Title match, yeah. I agree. Yeah, I do agree. Like I said, it's obviously everyone knows that like there's everyone laughs and jokes on that obviously about the Cody thing, but I've got a lot of respect in that for him after that match. Like, it's not still not fully up there, but no, I've got a lot of respect for him, especially after that match. I do agree that was a really good one there. So then we move on into the men's Royal Rumble match. So it opened up with Rey Mysterio and Penta as 1 and 2, which was quite interesting. I think we said Penta when we were doing our predictions. I think someone said that we thought Penta was going to come out really early. So, and I mean, he putting him against Rey Mysterio actually as the first two. That was a good matchup. That was a good, that was good. That was one of Triple H's good ideas for that one, rather than one of his bad ones. So yeah, like, what do you like? Do you agree that was pretty good doing those two as first, or for first and second, or what?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, Ray is Ray, but Penta's a stud.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of funny that he botched. He actually should have went out before he did. His feet hit the floor. Pretty early into it, but I was really surprised how they did Joe Hendry. I really suspected Jay and Joe to start the show because of their interests. But that's another one of Triple H's swerves. So
that was yeah. So that was that one. And then we move on. Then so we then had Chad Gable at number 3, followed by Carmelo Hayes, and then Santos Escobar, and then Otis, and then Bron Breakker, and then it was Akira Tozawa, but obviously he got took out. Well, he got took out basically, and they went backstage, a little segment backstage. And they actually had ISO Speed show up as the enter in the Rumble. Obviously, that was all pre-planned. For anyone saying, "Oh, they literally just done it that way." No, it was all pre-planned. We all know this because trust me, I've had people turn around and say that was a last-minute thing that Triple H decided on because he was there. No, that was pre-planned, and I will just say that on here now. And that spear, oh my god, that spear which he took was just that was something else. That was
I don't think he's gonna want to get back in the ring anytime soon.
Yeah, well, he's been invited back from WrestleMania, but I don't think he's gonna even want to show up in WWE after that. Like he took it like a champ as well. I will say that he took that spear like an absolute champ. So that was that. Then we move on. Then so we then had Sheamus, followed by Jimmy Uso, followed by Andrade, and then Jacob Fatu, Ludwig Kaiser, and then The Miz. That was took up to there. And then the place erupted when this hit.
Say his name and he appears.
There we go. I just had to do that. You got to. It's like a law. So yeah, so the place absolutely erupted when Joe Hendry's music hits. I suspected it would, but it surprised me at how much it did. I knew it was going to be a pop, but that pop was just, it was big. It was big for that one. And then obviously then they followed up Joe Hendry with Roman Reigns, which obviously like two big pops back to back. It was, yeah, it was pretty good. And that, like, obviously the only thing was obviously Roman did take about 4 hours to get down to the ring, but you know, so they could have got another competitor in by then, but that's fine. It's obviously Roman Reigns, so we don't really care basically for that one. So that was that one there. Well, we don't really care about how long he took to get down to the ring. Followed by Drew McIntyre, then Finn Balor, Shinsuke Nakamura, and then we get our winner of the Royal Rumble come out, which is Jey Uso at number 20. And then a returning AJ Styles at 21. Now, Bobby on Uncut, he brought up something, and he mentioned this one as well. Was, if you notice, the past couple of years, the number 21 slot has been the returns. Like, you had Edge at 21, you had Alexa at 21, you had AJ Styles at 21. So it seems to be now that the 21 slot is the new surprise slot rather than number 30. Whereas, you know, everyone expects at number 30, oh yeah, you know, it's going to be like a big name and stuff like that, or a big return. It seems now it's that number 21 slot. So that's something to keep an eye on for next year. You know, that one there. I found it quite good as well that they obviously brought AJ Styles back for the Royal Rumble. Nobody I think didn't suspect him or anything really. You know, it was good. It was good. I will just say, because I've just seen one of the comments is Monty, Joe got eliminated by Joe. Yeah, that's correct. So, you know, yeah, so Joe did get eliminated by Joe, so that I didn't think about that one. Yeah, and then we then sort of had a returning Braun Strowman after a week's injury. So, but we've got to say it's a returning Braun Strowman because he was off injured. And then we then had John Cena, followed by CM Punk, then Seth Rollins, then Dirty Dom, followed by Sami Zayn, Damian Priest, LA Knight, and then the number 30 was Logan Paul. Now, everybody knew Logan Paul was coming in that, but it's having him at number 30 was just, yeah, that was something else. And there was quite a funny comment that Logan did actually put out, is he did turn around and say, like, in a video, he turned around and said, if Dwayne Johnson took my number 30 slot, I would have left WWE. And like, I've seen the video, and all the comments on the video are like, Dwayne, why did you not show up? You know, just like, Dwayne, why did you not come out number 30? We could have got rid of him. You know, that's what it is. So, yeah. Right, we've actually got a question for you in the comments. So this is from Ed, obviously the Promo Battle Champion. So it's question for CJ. How does it feel to no longer be the Promo Battle Champion? So I'll let you there, basically.
You know, go back to the Space Monday and listen. That's really all I have on that.
Yeah, so there we go. Yeah, so that was that one there. Yeah, so I mean, Dwayne should have, you know, Dwayne should have come back. Going back to the previous thing we were talking about, yeah. So Dwayne should have come back and that at number 30 just to, you know, just to get Logan Paul to be gone. Basically, that's the thing there. So
to be fair, to be fair, I did nail both I didn't pick all the winners, and I didn't pick all the first and second, but I definitely picked the 30 in the men's and the women's. I said Logan and Nikki, so that was crazy.
Yeah, that's correct, Jay. You got them right. Yeah. Now that's obviously the Royal Rumble covered. So you obviously wanted to mention about this Jay interview. So I'll pass it over to you. You do that, and then we'll get into my little spill at the end. So I'm going to mention, because that will lead nicely into that one. So
okay,
over to you to talk about this Jay interview then, because you watched it and I haven't yet. So yeah.
Okay. So for you guys that have not watched it, Jey Uso did an interview with Daniel Cormier. It is all over the place. I'm pretty sure you can find it on YouTube. But during the interview, there was a lot of certain things that was very startling. Jay basically told Daniel that he did not find out that he would be winning the men's Royal Rumble until about 30 to 45 minutes before they were scheduled to go out. So all these reports that it was planned in October or it was locked in December, it's all crap. None of it's true. He even said, in quotes by Jay, that Triple H told him who was going to be the final four, and that we want to swerve the WWE fans, the universe. And of course, he didn't say it, but we also know that he's talking about swerving the insiders like Meltzer, Sap, Russell Votes, all the people that were picking CM Punk or John Cena. But yeah, that is something definitely you guys should listen to, because at the end of the day, like, everybody needs to understand that Jey Uso was not the plan. Regardless if I'm a Jey fan, but he was not the plan. Triple H wanted to swerve all of us, and all of us that do the inside work and try to get the leaks and spoilers for you guys. It was all done to get over on all of us. He could care less about anything else. So that's
and I will say as well that I did actually hear earlier on this week is there's going to be, and I've said this a few times actually online now, is if it's on Twitter, do not believe it, because Triple H has, and this has come from one of my sources and also somebody else has also heard this as well, is Triple H has wrote about between 4 to 6 different scenarios for WrestleMania for every single match. And that, like, there's a hell of a lot of stuff going out. Like at the minute, Cody has about 20 different opponents and stuff, and it's all gone through creative and stuff like that he's doing it that way. And the main reason behind that is to stop any leaks coming out. So, he basically, Triple H knows that, like, most sources use people in creative or superstars and stuff like that, and he's now to try and prevent leaks as well. He's not telling the stars whether they're winning matches until literally just before they go out there, which is annoying to some of them because it's gone back to the old Vince McMahon era, because that's what Vince was doing. Triple H is so concerned about it, that he's trying to block these leaks and stuff like that he's mucking up booking and that, and he's upsetting some of the stars by going back to the Vince McMahon era by not telling them that they're winning their matches beforehand. He's even during like the rehearsals, he's having both scenarios played out, and he's having both scenarios wrote in creative as well. So in that way, so he can literally just like decide who's sort of who's winning and that at the time, and he can literally call it just before the match for it. And the main reason behind that is he hates spoilers, so he's trying to lock them down as much as physically possible. And like I said, I'll tell you now that for WrestleMania, there's loads of scenarios at the moment, and we were saying this earlier on, just before we came on, and I've also been saying this as well for quite a lot in the Discord this week, is do not be surprised if the week of WrestleMania that a lot of the plans change. So, you could literally going in like, oh my God, like, they've said, oh, it's this triple threat match or whatever it is, and that's been spoiled and stuff like that for, between Roman, Punk and Seth. They could literally change that at the last minute. Like, somebody could literally come on in, and the go home week on Raw, they could literally then turn around and say, we're changing this match to that. And it's one of the main reasons behind that as well is I know they're trying to avoid these stupid hashtag movements and stuff for it. So they know that if they do it like within the last week or like 2 or 3 weeks out from WrestleMania, then they can't, they can't change the booking. They can't change that storyline from there. So, so they'll tease and everything like that. They'll try and do this and that, and then it'll come to it, and something else will get announced, say, on the Raw before WrestleMania, and they know that, they know that you're not going to be able to have enough time to start up a stupid hashtag or go along and be like, oh yeah, we want Cody or whatever, bloody things, whatever, it shows and stuff like that for it, and I've been told as well is do not be surprised if one of the matches for night 2 gets set on the Friday night SmackDown before WrestleMania. If that's how late it literally is for that one. And again, that's to stop leaks and everything like that from coming out, and it also gives Triple H time to decide what scenario he actually wants to use. So, I know a lot of people are getting frustrated because they're like, but this was said, we wanted this match, we thought it was this, we thought it was that. And I've always said this is Triple H is a known troll. He likes to troll the universe. He likes to troll the WWE universe. Yes, it's annoying people because people are like, oh, but Triple H's booking and that isn't the greatest because he's not giving us what we want and stuff. He's not giving the fans what we want. But I tell you now, he doesn't care about the fans. And I've said this several times. He doesn't care. It's what he wants to do, and it's what TKO wants to do. And I keep hearing, and this is picking up a lot more now, I keep hearing John Cena versus Logan Paul. And that's going to annoy a lot of people because obviously they all want John Cena to go for the number 17, but I keep hearing it, and a couple of other people as well have picked that up. It's going to be John Cena versus Logan Paul is one of the plans. Right.
I have something. Yeah. I have something on John Cena Zero, if you don't mind.
Yeah,
I'll try to make it. I'll try to make it as quick as possible.
That's fine.
So here's the deal, guys. John Cena is a GOAT. He's been in the business a long time, but WWE needs to realize, and all the IWC and the Cena fans, everybody needs to realize that he came in to this retirement tour with 2 different stories. Number 1, he hasn't won a singles match in 7 years. Number 2, he's chasing number 17. And excuse my language for this, because obviously I don't ever swear on here. But what makes any booking and logical sense for WWE to completely blow their load on John Cena cashing in 17 at WrestleMania? John Cena has already said, and reports are everywhere, that he is not even going to work a full-time schedule until SummerSlam. John Cena will not win the Elimination Chamber. If he does, it's because Triple H changed it last minute, but he will not win number 17 at WrestleMania. That is something that they can milk, and storyline-wise, they can get the most out of for this entire year. And why not have Cena win the title at SummerSlam, or even later on towards the end of his retirement tour, and then just retire with the belt? But all these fans, they want this instant gratification. So many of these IWC, we got to have it right now. Well, WWE is not going to blow their wad on John Cena's 17th title run. So I'm not putting it all on X because I don't want to hear everybody's crying, but he ain't winning the 17 at WrestleMania. And you heard it here first on the EVP Xero Show.
Yeah, and I'll add to that as well is, this is quite interesting, I actually seen this earlier on, is there's actually now been a report come down today that WWE are actually looking to book a special pay-per-view dedicated to John Cena in December. Now, obviously, It's going to be late, and they're looking to potentially call it Ruthless Aggression, Ruthless Aggression pay-per-view for the 27th of December. It's come down as. Now, what I could see them doing is Cena ends his career with the title. Well, Cena ends his run with that, and he does the passing of the torch of the title to somebody on that show. So, so the show dedicated to him on the 27th of December, they could, they could do it there, basically. That makes more sense than anything else, really.
We got he's got 2 stories here. I mentioned one, but the other story is he needs to win a match. I mean, he automatically gets thrown into the chamber because he's John Cena, and I get that. He's worked for that. But let's work on him winning a match and building himself back up to 17 instead of everybody just clamoring and wanting that instant gratification and throwing the title on him at Mania, because After that, what are we going to do? He's not even going to be on TV till August. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, and obviously people were complaining about when Roman held the belt and he wasn't showing up, and obviously quite recently we've had it with Cody not defending and that. So if John's filming stuff, he ain't going to be showing up with that title, and it'd be a waste of doing it. So yeah, there's no point, there's no point doing that one there. But like I said, it's yeah, and obviously Moni's just said as well, and I've seen a couple of other people as well mention about it, is well, and I know as well, I'll get my teeth in a minute. I know as well that WrestleVotes actually reported this a while back as well, is they are looking to do John Cena versus Logan Paul, because, and even Moni Savannah said that you could see that at the you could see that in that promo on Raw on Netflix. He cut his promo and they cut to Logan Paul. That was your hint there. That was literally your hint there. And that John Cena is not going into WrestleMania in a title match unless they put a title on Logan Paul this quickly. But I can't see that happening. No. It's gonna upset a lot of fans, but WWE know that that's going to be a big match, because you'll have Logan Paul fans tuning in, and you'll have all the John Cena fans wanting to watch that match as well, to see who goes over, see whether Cena puts Logan over, or to see whether obviously Logan puts Cena over. That's going to be the thing, Yeah, and obviously, I can see it here. So, so I'll put some of these up. So, I called Logan versus Cena at WrestleMania debut episode of Raw on Netflix. He cut his promo and they cut to Logan. Yeah, like I said, Lena, I can see it. Logan eliminates Cena at the Chamber to set up a feud at WrestleMania. Yeah, that's what's happening there. And that, that was that one there. Also, Moni just pointed out as well, Cena eliminated Logan Paul at the Royal Rumble. So that's the start of it there. Then obviously, then you go into that one. And the Acknowledged Dynasty account, I don't know who's on that one tonight. Oh, yeah, it's Leslie, I've just seen. Hello, Leslie. So even with John, though, we still need story development to make his run mean something, no matter who he faces for WrestleMania, which is true. That's what we've been saying. He needs to start getting some wins, because he's just been thrown straight into that elimination chamber just because he's John Cena. And the main reason behind it is because they're making it like aimed around him, and can he do this 17? This is like his last chance to try and get that championship match at WrestleMania. But because of his filming, he instantly just gets a free pass into it. That's the thing. So, and I mean, it's, in my eyes, if they knew that Cena was filming, they shouldn't have done it. They shouldn't have promised this massive run. They should have just come out and said, it's going to be a half-year retirement, and they bring him in at SummerSlam and have him do that last little bit, rather than the full run. Because so far, this full run, we've seen him twice within, 2 months?
Yeah, it's going to be like that till August. After Elimination Chamber, we'll see him at Mania. He may do like a week build-up, maybe, but he's filming. Like, he's got other priorities. But he's doing he's advertised for Backlash. He's advertised for Backlash in Paris, so he'll obviously be doing that one. So Ronald, I can see in there that someone said they knew, but they lied to sell tickets. It's true, and I've been saying this is TKO or a business at the end of the day. They don't care what the fans want. They will try and make as much money as physically possible, and we even seen that with the Royal Rumble stage. Like, everyone wants all these unique stages and everyone wants all these like unique rings and stuff like that, but they're not giving it to the fans. They're not giving us what it is. It's minimal stuff that they're going to do to get as much money as physically possible. Really, they know the tickets are going to sell, and they can ram more fans into the arena with smaller stages and stuff. And if they don't need to spend that money on new ring ropes or new rings and stuff like that at the end of the day, then it's it's saving them loads of money. And that's that one there, basically. I have one other thing. Also, guys, everybody, in the comments and watching tonight, like I said, I'm a Jay fan, so I'm not knocking him. Yeah. But you got to be prepared, because we saw what happened last year with the Cody Rhodes stuff. Don't be surprised if Jey Uso is not fighting for a title this year. We don't know. Like, nobody really knows what they're gonna do. So everybody's getting hyped up, and this is WWE's way to make all this merch. He got a new orange shirt out, the Royal Rumble winner shirt out. Yeah. So I'm just telling you right now, do not put all your eggs in a basket that you're going to see Jey Uso fighting for a World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania, because more than likely, or possibly 50-50, you're going to be let down.
Yeah, and I've been saying this is they're still planning the swerve of the century, and I know they're still planning the swerve of the century, and this is what I've been told is nobody knows what the plans are at the moment, and the way they're portraying it on TV, I was literally told just the other day, what you see on TV at the moment is not what we're going to get. Basically, we're not gonna get that there. So
he said, like Jay said in the presser, and the Monday before Royal Rumble, he said, I know I can beat Gunther, but he comes on Raw and he's like, oh, I'm, he did his, which is touching. Like, shout out to Jey Uso. It's been it's well deserved, long time coming, but he never formally challenged Gunther. He told Gunther that I'm going to SmackDown Friday and I'm going to holler at Cody. So if it was for sure Gunther and Jay, they would have made the match. There isn't but one match that's locked, and I'll let Xero handle that when he goes on about the GOAT Charlotte Flair.
So going in actually about Charlotte Flair then as well. So now we've been saying for weeks about it's Charlotte versus Tiffany at WrestleMania. Now I've heard a couple of interesting tidbits, and it sort of falls in line as well with something else that was said. I'll start it off actually with the comment that was made from Bully Ray, or Bubba Ray Dudley's, as some people might know him by. On Busted Open Radio, he turned around and said, if I had the pen, so obviously the creative pen, I would have Charlotte win all 3 championship belts to make her that like unstoppable heel. Now, there's something behind that, I'll say. There's even talks of Charlotte still keep teasing where she's going to show up, and there's been a couple of rumors come out. Now, I haven't verified this myself, but to be fair, I did hear a little bit about it beforehand. There's rumors that she might even turn around and say that she wants to challenge for the Knockouts Championship on TNA to try and elevate up the TNA Championship. And that now,
hope not.
Now imagine if they do go ahead and book it as Charlotte basically has Charlotte, the WrestleMania match in the end ends up being Charlotte versus Rhea versus Tiffany versus Julia at WrestleMania, and then it's winner take all. So then Charlotte walks out with 3 belts. I could see that happening. Personally, I could see that happening. If this is Charlotte Flair we're talking about, and this is WWE, they absolutely love Charlotte Flair now. If they want to make her that ultimate heel, they'll do that, and it's going to be. I can see it happening.
Well, here's the problem. Here's the problem I have with the Charlotte haters. They think that she's where she's at because of her father. But she's the best. She's the best in the world in the ring. I don't know about putting all the belts on her. Like, that would just be crazy, and obviously it'll swerve. But when she come out Monday, like, she was legitimately trying. She did get cheered at Royal Rumble. I watched it 3 times. But when she come out Monday, like, they booed her out the building. So, like, she came in, like, obviously she's freshly divorced. She came in, or not freshly divorced, it's October, but she came in trying to portray that face persona about how she missed everybody, and she worked her way back from the injury. But she got booed so much that Triple H had to call another audible and have her go heel. I don't personally want to see her go after the TNA title, because I feel like Tiffany and Charlotte is the match. Like, we got to see that. But who knows what they do?
I mean, it could be anything really. This is Triple H's booking and stuff. We never know what's sort of going on there, but so that's that's that one there. Now, going back obviously to some of that stuff that does fall in line with the several booking plans for it, and again, nobody knows at all what's going on really. The real WrestleMania plans. When I asked the other day, I was told it's still back. It's the original plans are still in place, but obviously some of them are going to be changed due to injury. You know, some of them might even change as well. You know, it seems to be that Triple H has literally got those plans locked down so hard that nobody's going to be able to view them. The only people who literally knows what the plans are is Triple H, and I can see what's going to happen is he's going to keep teasing it, like I said earlier on in the show, all the way up to the week of WrestleMania, and he could even change half of the matches then, and that like winners and that will be decided on, you know, on that day as well. So now talking about one of the other interesting things as well, again I was talking about this earlier on actually, is everyone keeps saying about, oh yeah, you know, John Cena this, John Cena that, you know, he's got to win this and that. Now, if they don't decide to go for Logan Paul versus John Cena, the other interesting matchup is something that has already been teased. Now, Joe Hendry has called out John Cena. Now, I was saying this one earlier on. Imagine that for the first time ever in WWE history, you have John Cena challenging for the TNA championship at WrestleMania. Now, number one, that would elevate up TNA massively. Number two, that would elevate up Joe Hendry massively, especially obviously if Joe Hendry wins that one, because once you beat John Cena, there's nowhere else ready to go, is there really? So, you know, beating the GOAT. So, I mean, again, this is just something that I can see happening and that, and WWE, as I said earlier on, is WWE at the moment, the current stars are mainly going to be there to elevate other people, you know. So I could see if WWE really want to elevate up TNA as a company and they really want to like help get, you know, everything sort of sorted out for them, is they could do Joe Hendry versus John Cena. I can see that happening. And like I said, Joe Hendry's already to man said he wants John Cena in a match before John Cena retires. Now, that could be SummerSlam. That could be, you know, if they didn't do that one at Mania, they could still do, you know, Logan Paul versus John Cena and that. But I think the difficulty would be is obviously they're both loved by the fans. So it'd be who would the fans get behind in that match? That's going to be the only difficulty that they're going to have. And obviously the other difficulty is it's meant to be TNA and NXT really. You know, but they can obviously change things around for like that. Like they obviously had them show up in the Royal Rumble, which is mainly, well, that's all three brands anyway. So I mean, it doesn't really make any difference. Heck, they could even do it at Survivor Series because obviously that's like all about different brands and stuff like that. They could do it then, but there's I mentioned this earlier on actually to somebody, and we've got to remember this is wrestlers don't set challenges like that for no reason. You know, they, especially with something to do with WWE and the WWE stars, if they're saying I want this person or I want to challenge this person, then that means there's been some plans there drawn up for that to happen. So I can see at some point this year we are going to have John Cena versus Joe Hendry. I can see it now basically for that one. Everyone keeps asking about The Rock. Now, The Rock will be at WrestleMania 41. I don't know in what capacity, whether he's going to be wrestling. I'm hoping it's back to the original plans, but again, nobody knows. So everyone keeps saying, is Rock at WrestleMania? Is Rock facing Cody? Is Rock doing that? Is Rock doing this and that? As I keep saying, WrestleMania plans are literally locked down. Nobody can get hold of them. Even, you know, I've heard a few bits and pieces and stuff, and, you know, I've been told that we're expecting a massive swerve and everything like that. And this is what I mean is, we were saying this, Jay could easily come out and challenge Cody, and then they could literally do it the week before Mania. Is basically he turns around and says, I'm stepping aside. You know, and then they do the whole Cody and Rock thing like what they done last year. You know, that's obviously if Dwayne is doing it. You know, that was someone's interrupting the Roman Reigns acknowledgement ceremony, that's for sure. When is that? Have we got that acknowledgement ceremony somewhere?
I mean, where's Solo? I mean,
yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, because this is the other thing as well. Is what that was the other one which I was actually mentioning about. You've actually just reminded me about that one. I haven't got my list tonight. So I normally have a tick list, but I haven't got that on me tonight. Solo, obviously, going into that match for the one on Netflix, was the agreement was that obviously if he lost, that he was going to acknowledge Roman. Now, since that match, we haven't seen Solo. We've seen him once and he walked out. He didn't say anything. So he's yet to acknowledge Roman. Now, I can personally see that they're going to have Solo come back and they are going to have him refuse to acknowledge Roman, and then that one and set up the rematch at WrestleMania between them. Because that was originally meant to be on the WrestleMania card, and I can't see them swerving too much away from that one. So it could end up still being Seth versus Punk and then Roman versus Solo. Now, I know some people have obviously some people are hating on that idea. They don't want that one, but it's just quite interesting. And as I always keep saying, you've got to watch out for all of the Easter eggs. You know, there's little things there, like they made it very clear what Solo had to do, and he hasn't done it, and we haven't seen him since. And that, so he's going to randomly show up, probably attack Roman at some point. And, you know, he's probably going to come on in, attack Roman, and then they're going to set up a challenge for Mania. And as I think I was saying this the other day, actually, as well, is Roman's not going to be there for Elimination Chamber. Mm-hmm. So he's right out till then. So literally now, the next time we're going to see Roman is going to be the build for WrestleMania. So they can literally keep Solo off TV until Roman comes back. You know, they have Roman come back in for the WrestleMania build, and they just have Solo come out and attack him. You know, that could be the thing. So and that sets up WrestleMania 41 match between them. Now, again, I'm not confirming that is the match before anyone goes ahead and says, but you said this on your stream. You know, because I have had that before. You know, it's just something that I've heard. That, you know.
Well, you got a good question down at the bottom from Cam.
Yes, so yes, I can. So, will it be EO versus Rhea at Mania? They seem to be teasing it. No, I can see if anything, if they're going to do the one-on-one, I don't think EO is going to be in a WrestleMania main event. I think if anything, it's going to be Becky Rhea. So it would be Becky Rhea, or they're going to insert Liv back into it again somehow, because that's what they were looking to do. Now, we've got to pay close attention to the Elimination Chamber and who the women's going to be in there. I can see either a returning Becky Lynch before that one, or again Liv Morgan, because that was the original Mania plans, and they're not going to swerve too far from the Mania plans. Basically, I've said this a few times: is anything that happened on that Raw on Netflix show, that first Raw on Netflix show, is a non-canon event. Basically, do not count any of that stuff. You know, do not count any of that stuff, because that was literally just a showcase of the faces winning. You know, everyone going over and stuff like that. Really, so do not you know, do not sort of count that one in. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to say. It could end up going that way. I mean, but no, that was a non-canon show. That one was big time for it. You know, I mean, it could be Becky Rhea too. It could be anything, but the original Mania plans had Becky Rhea. I'll say that one now. The original Mania plans had Becky Rhea on it for that one. And then there was also then plans to insert Liv Morgan into it to make it into a triple threat. Now, you know, a couple of people have actually heard that as well for the, you know, as the plans. So don't be surprised if that does go ahead and they do it that way, basically. Yeah, as Monitor Man said there, yeah, don't count The Rock hugging Cody and Roman. It was a Candy episode of the holiday special, which is true. It was, you know. Yeah. But no, that's that one there done basically then today. So that's the show. Don't forget to obviously go back and, as CJ Timmerman said, listen to the Promo Battle Championship match that he had. That's on X Spaces. Which one was it on? Was it on the Main Event Fridays? It was, wasn't it? Yeah, because I actually showed up to that one.
It was last Friday, yeah. And also check out my space on Monday. We're over 700 views right now. So it's kind of a rebuttal from Promo Battle from the Friday, and we also have an interview tomorrow on the Main Event show with AJ Francis. So, and then next week or Monday, I will actually be interviewing. I don't have his name exactly, but he goes by Shaq Wrestling. He actually interviewed Roman just a few weeks back. But I will be doing an interview with him. Shaquille Mahuri. I will be doing an interview with him Monday night at 6 p.m. on Main Event Monday. So you guys definitely don't want to miss that, because I'm going to be talking to someone that literally just interviewed Roman a few weeks back.
So that's quite interesting. So Thank you for tuning up. I can't speak. It's midnight for me here. Thank you for tuning in again this week. Yeah, and we'll back next week, same time, 6 p.m. EST, because I know a few people have been like changing times this week. No, it's 6 p.m. EST every Thursday. There might be a couple of changes coming up soon, but I've already spoken to CJ about that one, and we will let everyone advance know if there's no show 1 week. But we will, for now, it's going to be 6 p.m. every Thursday evening for the foreseeable future. We will see you next week on the EVP Xero Show. As it obviously says along the bottom, do not forget to like and subscribe. That's to myself at For You Wrestling, and to CJ at Charlie71803496. See, I don't need to remember it this time because it's actually scrolling across the bottom of the screen. So so I got that one right this time. So thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next week. This is Xero signing out.
And I'm the EVP, and stay tuned tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern for the main event show, and we will be interviewing AJ Francis as well as me interviewing Shaquille Monday night on Main Event Monday. So you guys tune in. I'll see you next week.